Studios in Feasterville/Trevose. We are Combat Misfits. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this amazing podcast that we have for you guys this morning.
On Halloween.
On Hallow-freaking-ween. We are pumped. UFC 267 was amazing. It was such a stacked card. We're going to get into all the results as well as all the controversies that led up to this pay-per-view. But first, I am Dave Miletto, and I would like to introduce my co-host, Chris Thedek. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing?
We are doing good. Chris may be a little hungover this morning, but he is here. He was 100% focused on reacting to these fights. I would like to also introduce my producer this morning, Taylor. What's going on, man?
I need the coffee you're drinking.
Oh, this is natural energy. People get pretty annoyed with it. But anyway, we are here. We are going to cover UFC 267. We've got a lot of other news to break into. And I really can't be more pumped, man. I think we should start off with UFC 267 and the phenomenal main event between Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira. I do believe, Chris, that on Wednesday, we made a bet. We're going to get this started off right now.
Yep.
He said, I do recall Chris saying that Glover Teixeira had no shot at being the champion.
That's true. We had a gentleman's bet of $5, and here it is, $5 on air. I owe Dave. I hope you all can see $5. I owe Dave that Glover Teixeira was going to lose for sure. And, man, was I wrong, man. I think Jan just looked out of place, man. It was just really different. When you see him fight Adesanya, he looked like he was dominant. And then you see Glover come in and just almost rolled him, steamrolled him pretty much. It didn't look like Jan had a chance against Glover. I know a lot of people lost a lot of bets on that. If everybody's betting and all that, and you guys lost a lot because of Jan. Because I would have took that bet too. Jan got clipped and early in the second, got taken down and just got choked out. And it was a quick tap too. So I think there was something wrong with his jaw, or something was wrong because he tapped really quick. It was weird.
It was very weird. He did quit. He did tap very quickly. So in the first round, it was all Glover. Took him to the ground, controlled the whole round, dominantly on the ground. Was I knew that Glover Teixeira had great ground game. However, I didn't know how dominant he was going to be in this fight against somebody like Jan Blachowicz. I mean, like you were saying, he had fought Israel Adesanya, and the list goes on and on of all the very controlling fighters that he has fought in the past and demolished them, and had a lot of records or a lot of finishes on his record going into this fight. And with Glover Teixeira being 42 years old, everybody was like, he doesn't really stand a chance. He was a major underdog on this fight. It was very favorable for Jan Blachowicz to win. And my prediction on Wednesday was pretty bold, I wanted to see the story that Glover Teixeira, coming over here as an illegal immigrant and just thriving for a shot at potentially being a champion. He lost his shot at John Jones, several years ago when he first fought for the title. It didn't work in his favor. And then he came with a resurgence, and was able to put a lot of wins together to get into this position. It was very impressive for somebody of 42 years old. He broke history last night as the oldest first ever champion. Now, he's not the oldest champion ever. I did some research. Randy Couture holds that position.
Right.
He won the belt at 45 years old. Jan Block or Glover Teixeira, 42 years old, broke into the record books last night and walked off with the light heavyweight championship of the world.
Which is impressive. Like, kudos to him, man. Like, he didn't give up. He's like, oh, I'm at this age. I should just hang it up. He kept pushing, kept training. He's like, I'm going to be champ. I'm determined. I'm going to be a fucking champion. And here he is, man. Like, kudos to him. He beat Jan, even though he was a major underdog. Lost a lot of bets for a lot of people. But, man, kudos to him.
And kudos to everybody that bet on the underdog, Glover Teixeira. They won some major money last night, because he was very highly rated as an underdog in that fight. Most people didn't see a shot of him winning, and he surprised a lot of people. And I kind of saw this, that, like, you want, like I said on Wednesday, sometimes you just want that underdog to win, and seeing his story and everything that he's come from and just losing the championship title fight against John Jones, and then coming back and putting wins together and getting himself in this position, and then coming out and rear naked choking Jan Blachowicz was very impressive. Putting him in a submission was my prediction. I predicted the third round. He did it in the second round, which was super impressive. I can't give any more credit to Glover Teixeira than I already am. I'm super proud of him for being in this position. However, and I will say this on record right now, I do not see him holding on to this belt very long.
No.
I just don't see him holding on to this belt. I do see a potential rematch with Jan Blachowicz. I see that as dominant as Jan Blachowicz has been, I don't see Glover standing a chance with holding his belt for too much longer,
I think it's going to be an immediate rematch. Blachowicz is going to fight Glover next again. They're going to just run it back, I believe. I don't think there's going to be someone fighting in between. I think it's just going to run it back.
Yeah. And, if that potentially happens, Glover Teixeira is going to probably go in with the same game plan, take him to the ground. That was phenomenal. He knew, as good as Glover Teixeira has as a striking game, Glover Teixeira knew where his chances stood. He knew take him to the ground and try and submit him was his best chances of being a champion.
I don't believe that.
Jan Blachowicz has phenomenal striking,
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't think that was the game plan. Take him down and submit him. I don't.
He
think
did it for the first minute of the fight. Within the first minute of the fight, he had him on the ground.
I think it's just a strategy plan. I don't think that is primarily what his main focus was going to do, because Blachowicz has a good ground game too.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the plan at all. I just think he just said, I have it tonight. I'm going to get him, because he clipped him a few times in the first. Then he clipped him again in the second. I think he was just very versatile, and I think that was the key game plan, be versatile. Beat him on the striking, wait until he wants to go to the ground, but I'm better on the ground, and I'll beat him on the ground. I think that's the plan.
It freaking worked, It freaking worked, and it won me $5.
There it is.
And I love these underdog stories, I really do. And it worked in the favor of Glover Teixeira last night, coming in there, doing what he did. Now he's the light heavyweight champion of the world, and he's in the history books, And I give every applause to him that I possibly could. And it was a great card from top to bottom last night. Mm-hmm. We also had Peter Yan versus Corey Sandhagen.
That was a great fight.
It was a phenomenal fight. It was a great back and forth fight.
I would say that in the first 2 rounds was a good back and forth. And then after that, I think Peter Yan just dominated him. I think Peter Yan was just too much for Corey. And it showed. It showed, man, like he just made him winded, got him tired, and he started unloading on this man. I think Peter Yan is just way more superior than Corey Sandhagen. And Sterling should be scared to fight Peter Yan again. Should be scared.
I see Corey Sandhagen. even though he took the loss last night, I see him being a champion in the future. I do.
Not if Peter Yan's there. No way.
No, not if Peter Yan's there. But I do see him potentially being the bantamweight champion eventually. He has the skills. He has the leniency. He has the height, the reach,
heart.
and he has these knees that come out of nowhere, and
it didn't do anything to Peter Yan. Peter Yan was unfazed by all his strikes, and it showed because he was pushing the pressure, throwing combinations. He was on his ass. Corey Sandhagen couldn't do anything to Peter Yan. Only thing he could have done is maybe get a submission if he would hold on. But it was still too much. He was exhausted. After the second round, to me personally, it looked like he was exhausted. And Peter Yan was like, I know you are. I'm going to unload on you. And he did. Spinning back fist, spinning kicks. He combinations, 4-piecing them, 3-piecing them. He wasn't doing 1-2s. He was doing 3 and 4s because he knows I'm faster and I'm better than you. I got your ass. I think Corey was just like, whoa, this guy is unbelievable. He's just way better than me. And it showed. He was just way better.
He admitted it in the post-fight interview.
Yeah, he had to.
Corey admitted he was the better man tonight.
All the time.
They had a lot of respect going into this fight.
Right, I get that.
Because Corey Sandhagen didn't have to accept this fight, Mm-hmm. He didn't have to accept this fight. He took this fight with Aljamain Sterling, bitch Sterling. I'm going to call him that because he keeps on freaking avoiding fights with Peter Yan. And he took this fight knowing this was his shot, at a champion, at
a title shot.
At a title shot, And when you're a fighter and you're offered the championship, even if it's on a week's notice, a month's notice, whatever, you accept it because that's what you're in this game for. You're a fighter, and when Dana White or Sean Shelby or any of them calls you up, you take that fight, man. So Peter Yan respected him a lot for taking this fight. There was a lot of mutual respect between each other, but Peter Yan definitely looked more dominant. And I kind of knew this going into this fight. I wanted, this is another underdog story. However, I knew Corey Sandhagen was probably going to get dominated by Peter Yan, and it happened. I mean, Corey Sandhagen, I believe, won 2 of the rounds out of the 5.
Yeah, I think the first round, and I believe the second. I could be wrong, but I think it was the second because I'm pretty sure 3, 4, and 5 was all Peter Yan. Yeah,
I mean, Peter Yan is usually a slow starter, as most can say, but he does pick up the pace as the fight goes along, and I think Peter Yan is most of the time in the beginning of the fight trying to read, the opponent, and Corey Sandhagen has awkward like fighting stance, and it's hard to for most fighters to adapt to that. However, he picked him apart.
Well, what he likes to do is Corey's like get in close, grab your hands, and throw quick short knee elbows. That's all he does.
Yeah,
and because it's effective, but against Peter Yan, it was very ineffective because it didn't do anything. Because Peter Yan looked like he came out of that fight untouched.
Yeah, and most of those moves that Corey Sandhagen was doing, like the knees, that knocked out Frankie Edgar. He knocked out Frankie Edgar with a knee, and it wasn't really working. That strategy wasn't working against Peter Yan. But all proof to Peter Yan. Aljamain Sterling came out and had to say some shit after the fight. Basically was like, oh, I'm your daddy.
Daddy will see you soon.
Daddy will see you soon. And I don't know what the hell's wrong with this dude. You've had the potential to defend this belt against Peter Yan, and you okay, so you whatever. You have neck issues. I don't believe any of this crap that's coming out of Aljamain Sterling's mouth. I think he's really trying to hold on to this belt as long as he possibly can.
Well, time's up.
I can't respect him as a champion. He really makes that bantamweight title right now look kind of ridiculous. Like even when they were announcing this fight last night, and it was for the interim bantamweight championship, not once did they even say the word interim, because it's almost like they knew this is for the real belt.
Yeah.
He's got Aljamain Sterling's got that paper belt. That don't mean shit until you defend the belt. And you didn't win that belt convincingly. You won that off of a disqualification. You won that off of an error. I don't ever think Peter Yan really intentionally meant to throw that knee. He saw that opportunity, and then he realized when he hit, when he threw the knee, that he was like, I did something. Yeah, I did something I wasn't supposed to, and he lost the belt for it. And I just think when they run that back, man, Aljamain Sterling is in for a rude awakening.
I think he's going to take a beating. Like, I think Peter Yan's going to unload on that guy. He wants to embarrass him. I think he's going to unload.
And he doesn't even, Aljamain Sterling doesn't even have the favor in Dana White. Dana White has even come out and said he was losing that fight. Like, this was ridiculous that, this knee even happened. And it's almost like Dana White doesn't even see him as a champion, like you're holding.
You were losing. You won by a DQ. No one respects you as a champion for taking that.
And it's ridiculous. So like on his Twitter and whatnot, he's going around, holding the belt, acting like he's the real champion. And I just don't agree with it, man. I want this to be ran back. I want Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling to be ran back so that we can see Peter Yan is the real champion, Let's be real. But there's people on his way. TJ Dillashaw, TJ Dillashaw's lying in the wakes. TJ Dillashaw beat Corey Sandhagen recently. So
there's no one in the wakes. It's Peter Yan versus
this could have been TJ Dillashaw's fight. However, he had the injury after the Corey Sandhagen fight, and Corey Sandhagen was able to capitalize and take this title shot, away from TJ Dillashaw. So TJ Dillashaw is also waiting in the cups for potential.
He's gonna have to fight the number 2. He's gonna probably fight Corey again.
You think so?
There's no who else is he gonna fight?
I mean, depending on when Aljamain Sterling even comes back.
No, There's no more waiting. There's no more waiting. It's Peter Yan has to fight Sterling. If Sterling doesn't fight again because of another injury, he gets stripped. There's no question about it. There's no way around it either. So Corey Sandhagen will fight TJ Dillashaw next unless TJ fights someone else to become number 2. There's no more ducking. There's no more running. Sterling needs to fight because it's been a pretty long time now that you've been getting hurt, apparently. And he's going to fight Peter Yan. And if he pulls out, then Peter Yan could potentially fight TJ for the belt. Then I'll see that. But other than that, there's no more running.
If Aljamain Sterling pulls out of one more scheduled fight,
stripped.
He's got to be,
There's no question. Stripped.
So we're almost going on a year that he hasn't defended this belt, And if this fight is scheduled again and he pulls out of this fight, he's got it. I agree with you. He's got to be stripped, So if you guys are watching on YouTube, please comment in the below the video and give us your thoughts on last night's pay-per-view, as well as hit that subscribe button and hit that bell for all notifications so you know when we're going live. We're also on Apple Podcasts, so if you're listening on this podcast from work and you don't want to get in trouble from your boss, we're live for just the audio edition of this podcast. Please show us the love, show us the support, and hit that subscription bell. Let's do this. So Peter Yan, obviously, in my opinion, is the real champion. We're gonna get into the Islam Makhachev versus Dan Hooker fight. It was. There's not much to talk about with this fight.
No, that was a fight, and he picked up Dan. Man, Makhachev is the real deal, man. That man's good.
He is the real.
I think, like I said previous on the shows, I think it's the Khabib wrestling, man. They're just unmatched.
Oh yeah,
by a mile. We said this. I think we both agreed. If it goes to the ground, Dan Hooker doesn't stand a chance, and we were right. We were right by a mile.
So answer this question for all you guys watching. Do you guys think Islam Makhachev is the real deal? Because Khabib, that's Khabib's protege. He's been building this guy up. He's 21-1 now. Yep. And, his only loss is from 6 years ago.
Yep.
So, does he deserve the next title shot? Because Daniel Cormier came out last night in an interview and was kind of like, I think Islam deserves to be the next contender for the championship belt after Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. They once they get that shit settled in December, does Islam Makhachev deserve the title shot?
I agree. I think he does. I do.
But this is where Justin Gaethje came back at Daniel Cormier. Justin Gaethje came back and said, "Well, wait a minute, like he's only had a few fights in the UFC. You're talking about overstepping Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, because that's possibly the next number one contender."
Nope. I don't think they're overstepping. I think they're making the right decision. They picked Makhachev to be a contender, 1%.
You think
Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler are fucking clowns? Like
oh man,
I think they're so overhyped. It's stupid how overhyped those two are.
You think Justin Gaethje is overhyped?
Overhyped.
No
by a
freaking
mile.
way.
Them two are just goofballs fighting each other, and they want to be number one contenders. Stop it.
Well, Justin
goofballs.
Gaethje is the former World Series of Fighting champion.
Who cares? If you want to talk like that, all these fighters in the UFC have been champions in other promotions their whole career. So if we're going that route, we can say everyone deserves a shot then. Everyone deserves a shot then. If we're going to take that route, we're going to say everyone deserves to be a champion then.
Okay. All right. But I think Islam Makhachev is sitting at number 5.
I think he's 5, and if after that win, he probably goes at 3 or 2. After that win, he goes 3 to 2. He dominated him. He didn't stand a chance.
He did not stand a chance against Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker did take this on a short time notice. It was supposed to be Rafael dos Santos, like we said on Wednesday. Rafael dos Santos pulled out, like most opponents have pulled out
against him.
He's a very big threat in the lightweight division. I absolutely agree. I think he does deserve a title shot. I don't know if he can overstep, a Michael Chandler or Justin Gaethje.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, why not? If that's your route, why not?
Well, just because of the competition that Justin Gaethje has faced, I think so. If Justin Gaethje beats Michael Chandler, right? Justin Gaethje, on paper, should be the next number one contender, you would think, right?
Why? I don't know why. Explain to me why.
He's beat better competition than Islam Makhachev.
So
Islam Makhachev is still coming slowly up in the ranks.
So you're saying Islam didn't fight anyone tough?
I mean, Dan Hooker is absolutely tough. But
so what's the difference?
And for him to ragdoll Dan Hooker like he did, it does show, that he is a potential.
Because Michael Chandler right now is the most overhyped person.
Michael Chandler
UFC.
is, yes, I agree with you on that.
He fought in Bellator for many years and beat almost nobody but Eddie Alvarez. And he comes into the UFC, wins one, gets banged out the second fight, and now he's fighting Justin Gaethje, and you're telling me if he beats Justin Gaethje, he deserves a title shot? That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
No, I think Islam Makhachev deserves the title shot. Now, there's a lot of people on the wings of that, a lot of things can be thrown up with this lightweight division, Say Dustin Poirier beats Charles Oliveira, that is my prediction. I think Dustin Poirier is the champion by the end of the year. If Dustin Poirier beats Charles Oliveira and then Justin Gaethje beats Michael Chandler, who do you see Islam Makhachev facing next?
I think Islam Makhachev should just jump the ranks. I think he should be the next contender.
It helps his chances that he has Khabib Nurmagomedov behind his back.
I don't think that plays a part. I don't. I just think that his skill set is just so much superior. He hasn't lost in 6 years.
That Sambo wrestling is no joke. But
he hasn't lost in 6 years. And you're going to tell me Justin Gaethje has lost a few in the last 6 years.
Yes, yeah.
Michael Chandler has lost in the past year. And you're going to tell me he does not deserve to jump the ranks?
I mean, he does. He does deserve to jump the ranks. And I think he will be the lightweight champion. There is no way. He's definitely going to be the next Khabib.
I agree.
And the most dominant champion.
Dustin Poirier lost to Khabib bad. And if Makhachev is a protege and learns from Khabib is probably telling him, lay on this guy and beat his ass. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Makhachev is going to lay on Dustin Poirier. If he beats Charles Oliveira, he's going to lay on top of him and beat the brakes in. I think he's going to be our new lightweight champion in probably like 7 to 8 months from now.
You think he'll? You think
7 to 8 months or a little bit longer, he'll be the next lightweight champion for sure.
And then that's scary because he will be as dominant as Khabib was as champion. It shows he's only getting better and better each time, and all props to Islam Makhachev, Now Conor McGregor also came out on Twitter and was basically, he kind of deleted this tweet, but he mentioned the fact that he believes all these Dagestanis, are incested, kind of, that I don't really know. The point is Conor McGregor can't stay out of the topics for long,
He has to keep his name relevant.
He has to keep his name relevant. So we'll see what happens with the lightweight championship come December. Mm-hmm. And then also next week, we've got Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. So depending on how dominant of a win that is and what kind of statement is made during that fight, we'll see who's next. Maybe it's Islam versus Justin Gaethje. Maybe it's Islam versus Michael Chandler. Who knows?
Don't care how that fight goes. I don't care if Justin Gaethje knocks him out.
You don't think that fight's going to be a banger?
In the first minute, if Justin Gaethje knocks out Michael Chandler, I don't believe he deserves a title shot next. Neither one of these goofballs deserve a title shot next. They need to fight one more time after that and perform. I think Islam just put on a showing. There's no question. No one can tell me that he does not deserve a title shot. That shit is just not gonna fly. It's just not.
He deserves a title shot, yes.
Yeah, but I don't understand where you're getting at. Where you're saying if depending on how that win goes.
Well, that's spotted to be the number one contender fight.
There's no way you can deny Makhachev after that fight. There's no way. I don't see it. I don't see it unless I believe Makhachev deserves a title shot. But if they say to him like, "Hey, you need to fight the loser of Gaethje and Chandler,"
it'd be the winner. It'd be the winner.
No, it can't be. It can't be the winner. Then that's
you don't think
irrelevant. It's irrelevant because if you telling me if that's a contender shot, if one of them wins, they get a title shot. How are you gonna have Makhachev fight the winner of that? If they're a contender,
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I will see how long Dustin Poirier wants to say Dustin Poirier wins the championship. Right. We'll see how long they want to take a hiatus for. No.
You
don't know.
No, if that's a contender fight, winner is fighting the champion.
Because Conor McGregor's coming back soon. In my thoughts, Conor McGregor's coming back soon. They may want to run back that Dustin Poirier shot, that Dustin Poirier fight.
Not if he's champion. They can't do that if he's
Why
champion.
not? Conor McGregor has every say in the world as jumping the line. He's done it.
Stop being ridiculous. Everyone that hates on Conor says, "Oh, he gets all this push." Man, you can't give him a title shot. There's no way. He's lost several fights in a row. He cannot have a title shot.
I don't know, man.
There's
Conor
no way.
McGregor's got more say than people think,
No.
He sure as shit does. He sure as shit does. But we'll find out, Next week is the big fight. Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. We'll find out where this division lies. The rankings will come out tomorrow and we'll
morning.
see how much he shot up in the rankings and possibly how much Conor McGregor has shot down in the rankings, because the rankings are going to move in this lightweight division in the next 2 weeks. There's going to be a lot of play being moved around. We're going to have to find out, Yep. So another fight that I want to talk about with this pay-per-view is Khamzat Chimaev. Yep. Khamzat Chimaev, oh my God. Is he the next big thing?
He can be. I think he could be. Because he picked him up and threw him to the corner and talked to Danny like, "Get off your phone. Get off your phone and pay attention."
Yeah. He was on him, man. Now, look, all Khamzat Chimaev's fights have come before the final bell. But does that dominance continue when he faces a top five? Because he has not faced the top five, and he also has not fought since this fight in over a year. The last time he fought was last September. So
didn't look like he had any ring rust.
Do I say that the strike differentiation? Oh my God. Li Zhang, I'm going to butcher that name. I'm sorry. He threw one strike in the whole fight. Well, that's all it took.
Well, Chimaev hasn't been punched in the last 4 fights. He didn't get straight.
He has not been strike. Yeah, he absolutely has been dominant in all his fights before this. So,
Man's a G.
will he stay at welterweight? That is the big question. He had a lot of issues. There was a lot of controversy on the scale come Friday where he, they brought up this tailgate situation. I don't know, man. Does he stay at welterweight? Can he make that weight? What was the issue at the scale on Friday?
I don't think it was him. I think it was just the commission, honestly. I think they messed up. I don't think it was him he messed up. Because they said they weighed him like 4 times.
There's a picture of him holding down on that tail. I don't know how much weight that would take off or how much the scale would get thrown off by that, but Daniel Cormier has pulled that situation before. He has done that situation before, and he was able to drop a few pounds on the scale, and then a lot of controversy ensued on that. And this happened again with Hamzat, So I don't know, man. Is that just the fact that, he hadn't fought in a year and, was there something that went wrong in training? Or
I don't think there's anything wrong.
Something with the nutrition, the weight cut, something.
No, because it doesn't make sense. If that was the case, you wouldn't have 4 different weights.
He wasn't overweight by much.
Right, but that's what I'm saying is that
171.5 initially.
Yeah, but his first weight was 165.
No.
Yes.
His second weight was 166. That was
whatever
that was when it was the tail. That's when the tail came out and he was supposedly holding on to the tail.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But Dave, that's what I'm saying. If there's 4 different weights telling you all different weights, then it's not him. It's the commission messing up. It's the commission.
So let me explain. So the first time he weighed in, 171.5. The second time he weighed in with a tail, 1 hour later, he was holding on to the tail, 166. The media in the audience even said it during the video, 166. How did he drop that much weight in 1 hour?
It's impossible.
It's impossible, right? So then they claimed it was issues with the scale. We don't know for certain. And then he went back behind the scenes, came back out, weighed again, and then he was 170.5, I think.
Right. So that is a clear indication it's not him, it's the commission fucking up.
How the fuck does the scale go from 170?
Because they're messing up. They probably can't read it.
To 166.
They can't read it probably.
I don't know. These guys do this all the time.
No, it's impossible, Dave. Listen to what you're saying. Make it make sense.
That's why it makes it such a controversy.
Right. If it's 177, then 166, and then he does it again, 170.
You can manipulate the scale by doing
not by
something.
5 pounds holding the tail. No way.
You don't know. You don't know what
it's
was
gravity.
Really...
It's gravity. It's just pure physics. There's no way you can hold a tail and eliminate 5 pounds from your own weight. There's no way.
I don't know. All I'm saying, I didn't, we don't know what really happened.
Yes, we do. It's physics. It's just pure physics. There's no way if you jump on the scale, right, and you hold a tail, there is no way you're going to be
Daniel Cormier did it before, and he was able to manipulate the scale as well.
Yeah, but not 10, 5, 6 pounds. Maybe a pound. I'll give you a pound. I'll give you a pound or 2.
Know.
You're not doing 5 pounds. Grow up. There's no way.
I don't know, man.
No way.
We both were just insinuating on this. We're just assuming that it wasn't the tail, it was the scale. It was the tail. It wasn't the scale. I don't know.
I think it was the scale or the person reading the scale couldn't read it right. There's no way you're dropping 5 pounds by balancing yourself on a tail when your teammates hold it. No.
But see, that's the sketchy part because, and we're gonna get into this because this is ridiculous. This is what makes the controversy a controversy. Okay, so there is no commission in Abu Dhabi.
Right.
The UFC commissions its own event. This has been known. So it's very easy to hide that shit under the rug if there was a weight issue or a scale issue or a tail issue. It's very easy to push that shit under the rug and act like it never happened. But I want to get into this fight right now.
The referee?
Because there was another controversy last night at the pay-per-view. Now, this referee, I would like to get everybody's opinion. Do you think this referee that ref the fight between Zaleski dos Santos and Benoit St. Denis, do you think this referee is the worst referee ever? A lot of people are coming out and saying this, Chris. Now, I know you're on the defending side of this.
I am.
You believe that this referee was doing his best job and doing what he was supposed to do.
Yep.
I am on the offensive this side. I don't think he was, man. And I'm going to give you my opinion. You're going to give your opinion. And I would like to get the opinions of everybody watching on the YouTube channel. Please comment below and let us know what you think about this, because this is really scary. Okay? Let me give you want to start with your opinion?
No, go ahead.
Okay, I'll give you my opinion. Okay. So this fight between Zaleski dos Santos and Benoit St. Denis, Zaleski was pummeling St. Denis in the second round, landing clean, unanswered hard strikes with his hands and his knees. There was little return from St. Denis. Little return at all. And St. Denis's face was a mess, covered in welts and blood and cuts. But what I see is that this referee failed to stop this fight when it was supposed to be stopped. And I think this referee deserves to be announced as the worst referee ever. And it shows. It wasn't just my opinion on this. It was not just my opinion on this. So, we've got that, right? He was getting pummeled. The refs chose not to stop the fight. Little controversy there. Then in the third round, Zaleski inadvertently poked St. Denis in the fight, in the eye. St. Denis said he could not see out of his eye. And the referee didn't even bring in the ringside physician to even check. What the hell? How do you explain yourself on that, Chris? I want to get your opinion on that, because that was sketchy.
All right, so St. Denis was taking a beating, but he still threw punches. He's still acting like he's part of the fight. He's still in it. It's not like he just sat there and just took it and did nothing. He fought back. He did something. Then he took him to the ground. How are you rocked? And you took him to the ground and you're still fighting. You put him in submissions. Get back up. Then he's still fighting. So he didn't have jelly legs either. He's not hurt.
Listen,
he's not hurt.
A fighter is a fighter. A fighter is never going to say, "I'm hurt, bro."
Right.
I'm getting beat up and I can't take this. It's very rare that a fighter will verbally quit in the fight.
Correct.
So he's going to keep going whether he's getting his ass beat or not. It's the referee's job to be like, look, this dude needs to be saved for another fight. Save the fighter. This is the biggest quote ever. Save the fighter for another day.
Right. I believe that.
You save him for another fight.
But he wasn't that hurt. He wasn't. I don't know what people saw. I might have been watching a different fight. He was not as hurt as everyone's claiming he was hurt. He's fighting back. He's still taking the punishment, obviously, but he's still in the fight. Look at him in the third round. He won the third round. So he can't be that far out of it if he won the third round. There's no way.
He won the third round. Wait, he won the third round, and I'll tell you why he won the third round. And this is why, right here.
Good.
So, in the third round, Zaleski, wait, let me get my words again. Zaleski kneed him.
What?
Wait, yeah. Zaleski did a low blow on St. Denis, right? Did a low blow. And the referee saw that. Didn't really see the eye poke.
He did see it. He stopped him.
No.
Yes, he did.
Initially, he didn't see that eye poke. He stopped.
He did.
He looked over, saw that the dude was holding his eye, and was like, "Oh, okay."
Right, and he stopped it. He said, "You all right?" He said, "Yeah, I'm good."
But for a low blow that really didn't even do nothing, did nothing,
Low
no
blow's a low
damage.
blow. You have to stop the fight.
He stopped the fight temporarily for
If
that.
he
and
thinks that
took
you
a
got
point.
kicked in the dick,
He
he's gonna
took
stop
a
the fight.
point from him.
He should.
No.
You can't get kicked in the dick. He got kicked in the dick and he stopped it.
So he can kicked in the dick, but he can't get poked in the eye, right?
He did. He said, "You okay?" He said, "Yes."
He can
What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? If he says, "I'm good,"
No,
stop.
he didn't say that. The
Yes, he
fighter,
did.
No, St. Dennis said, "I cannot see out of my eye."
And then he asked him, "Are you good?" He said, "Yeah." So what do you want him to do?
Of course the fighter's going to say yeah, but he also...
What do you mean? He doesn't want to get knocked the fuck out either.
No, he blatantly
said,
said...
you good?" He said, "Yeah."
He blatantly said, "I cannot see out of my eye." You bring
Right.
in, you
And
bring
then
in that doctor.
Hold on. He said, "Yeah." "Are you good?" He said, "Yeah." If he said no, then yeah, you bring the physician. If he says no, "I'm good," what do you need to bring a physician in for? We need to bring
You
the
have to bring the...
No, you do not.
Okay.
If he says, "I'm not okay,
As soon
I
as-
cannot see," the doctor must come in.
As soon as a fighter says, "I cannot see out of my eye," you go, "Okay, I don't give a shit if you're okay or not. I'm bringing in the ring."
No, that's not how it works.
Because somebody can die in that octagon,
Right.
On a referee,
But that's not how it
on a
works.
referee that is not able to judge
No,
this fight like
That's
he's
not
supposed to.
how it works. If you ask the fighter, "You cannot see," no. Then he asks again, "Can you all right?" If he says no, the doctor must come in.
And he didn't. He didn't even allow the
Because
doctor.
he said he was fine.
Doesn't mean shit.
Yes, it
The
does.
referee's job is to be like, okay, as
No.
soon as you cannot
It's
see,
the same-
don't listen to nothing else. You bring in that physician immediately.
No, it's the same thing as a low blow. If you get kicked in the dick, you have 5 minutes to recover.
You can recover from a kick in
Hold
the
on.
dick.
Hold on.
But
If
you can get your fucking eye
If you
poked.
get kicked in the dick and you say you want your full 5 minutes, you can take that. If you get kicked in the junk and you after 30 seconds you say, "I'm good," he can continue. It's the same thing as an eye poke. You get poked in the eye, you have so
He
much time.
allowed St. Dennis to take a terrible beating and did not act.
'Cause
But
he
he
was
felt it
fine.
was appropriate to take a point for a knee that was far less than any of the other abuse that happened during that fight.
Because he was fighting back. You don't stop a fight if the man is fighting back. He's still in the
Now,
fight.
I'm not the only person on the fence of this, okay? Because Dana White also came out and said the referee's job, his work was disgusting. And then legendary referee John McCarter
Said it was the worst ref.
said and John McCarthy has helped write the unified rules of MMA. And he came out and said the worst job of officiating at a UFC event ever.
Bullshit.
Now here's
I'm
the
calling
thing.
BS.
But here's the thing. I'm not necessarily being like this dude needs to lose his job. No, this dude needs to get better. This dude needs to be trained a little better because the risk of the safety of the fighters is too high for somebody like that to ever be allowed to officiate with that kind of judgment ever again.
Well, you can say the same
And
thing.
it is not just at the highest level of fighters.
So you can say the same thing with the Czech Congo fight and Pat Barry. Both of them were lights out on their own feet. So you think they should have stopped that fight? They both were fighting.
Yeah, but
But what?
this is the thing, bro. This is the thing. So the referee is in there to make sure that these fighters don't die, right?
Correct.
Because it's a possibility that they can die if they're taking too much damage. This shit is as real and
As it
as
gets.
legit as it can be. I love the wrestling aspect, the WWE aspect, but in the UFC, you can really freaking die from taking too much of abuse of getting punched in the face. And you could possibly go into a seizure, and this is no joke. So the referee needs to be on point, bro.
He was.
He was not on point. There was a lot of errors on his part. And for them to go ahead and pull him from the rest of his fights, that shows something was wrong, bro. No. Everybody saw.
Everyone's just getting too fucking
Everybody
soft.
saw. What?
Everyone's just getting too soft.
Look, no. UFC will never get soft.
It's soft.
UFC
if you
will
think that fight should have been stopped, you're soft.
He was getting
You're soft.
beat the hell up in the
You're
face.
soft
He was
as
taking
cotton.
unanswered shots.
No.
He was not really defending
He's
himself.
fought back. It doesn't matter if he's too tired to hold his hands up to defend himself. All right. I agree with you.
I
He was
agree.
probably tired.
Yeah.
But if he's taking punches and fighting back, he's
That's
still in the
adrenaline.
fight.
That's adrenaline,
He's
though.
still in
That's
the fight.
fighter's instinct.
He's still there.
That's the fighter's instinct is to keep going.
That means
I
he's
am
still
losing
there.
my fucking
He's
voice.
still carrying in his own head, fighting
I
back.
am losing my fucking voice here. Look,
He's still fighting.
I agree. That's fighter instinct is to keep fighting
Then
until
he's
you
still
fucking
there.
die.
He's still
No fighter's
mindset. His mindset is like, I'm still here. I can fight back.
Okay,
He's
so-
not out on his feet. He
Let-
wasn't.
Let me ask you this, right? Let me ask you this. So, if you don't think it was the referee, do you think that Benoit St. Denis, do you think his corner should have pulled the fight? Do
No.
you think they should have threw in the towel?
Nope.
Because somebody's got to save this guy for another day, bro. Somebody. Wait, what?
No, you're good. You're good.
Somebody's got to save this fighter for another day, man.
He
But,
did.
look, we can
He
go
was
on.
fine.
We can go on this topic all day because, like I've said in the past, there's a lot of issues that need to be corrected with the UFC and the rules and the judges. There's a lot of issues. We can go on with this all day. We only have 10 minutes left, and I do want to cover this chaotic thing that also happened in the pay-per-view, right? So we had Hasbulla.
Yep,
Now,
Hasbulla.
if you guys don't know who Hasbulla is, he is like this MMA sensation. I guess he suffers from dwarfism.
Yeah.
And he has become an MMA sensation. He has 2 million followers on the social media platforms.
All kinds of social
Yeah.
media.
And so he had called Dana White because they were in Abu Dhabi. He called Dana White and was like, I'm going to be at the fights this weekend. I'm going to fly in. So he, as promised, he flew into Abu Dhabi. Dana White saw him, was like, we're going to put you front and center to be able to watch this UFC 267 stacked card. And so everybody was on board. Daniel Cormier got a picture with him. Everybody was thrilled to have this guy.
Everyone loves Hasbulla.
Everybody loves Hasbulla. He is known, for all those that don't know, he makes a lot of like MMA content, parody content. He has one video where, you know, he's pretending like he's a Habib Nurmagomedov and he's weighing in and you know, he's grown a lot of publicity by doing this, you know, and he's loved by all the MMA community, honestly. And so he's front and center at the fights. Everybody's giving him, you know, Hamzat even, you know, was basically, you know, thrilled that he was there. And then, you know, basically when Islam Makhachev won, you know, Habib got in there and Hasbulla was front and center for all this action.
Yep.
Please tell the fans that are watching what happened. Wait, what happened after Glover Teixeira won the belt?
So
in the audience.
after Glover Teixeira won, Hasbulla and Abdul, another guy who suffers from dwarfism, they saw each other. They had beef for a while, and they still have beef. And they saw each other, and Hasbulla went after Abdul and attacked him. And so everyone's claiming or trying to say that they're going to be in a fight, like an MMA fight. And I think that would be the biggest card we'll ever see. I think that'll bring in so much money. If you have Hasbulla and Abdul in the center of the octagon brawling, these two guys who suffer from dwarfism, I think that's a moneymaker. I think that's going to be the best fight we ever see. I think it'd be not even just hilarious, but just awesome to see these two guys just go at it.
So Dana White was asked at the press conference, would this fight potentially ever come to fruition? Now, they've had a lot of beef. Him, Hasbulla and Abdul have had a lot of beef.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't really know what the beef actually stems from. They just don't get along, you know. But
They really don't like each other at all.
they really don't like each other, and it's really entertaining to see this. So Abdullah is 17 though, and Hasbulla is 18.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this fight could come to fruition yet, especially from the UFC.
Why
because,
not?
I mean, he's 17 years old. He's not even of adult status yet.
Well, I think Abdul turns 18 soon. He has to.
Yeah. I don't know when his birthday is, honestly. But so this fight can potentially happen. I don't know if this will happen under the UFC
Oh, I
banner.
hope so.
You think this fight could potentially happen?
That or boxing. Boxing does 17.
Yeah, I mean they're not interested in that. They're MMA enthusiasts, them too, you know. And it's very hilarious to potentially see this fight come to fruition. And hey, look, if Thriller is putting on all these circus ass fights, right?
Why
I
not?
think this fight could be legitimate, man. As crazy as it sounds for me to even spit those words out of my mouth, it would be highly interesting to see that fight, even if it's on like the early prelims. I don't know.
No, that has to be a main card.
You would
But
think it would be a main card.
It has to be.
They have no MMA experience.
So what? It'd be fun to see. But talking about like fights coming up though, let's get into Jake and Tommy Fury.
Oh, yes. Why did we not step on this when we first started this show? So Jake Paul, Tommy Fury has been official Wednesday. So Wednesday we were saying, you know, Jake Paul's been all over the place with trying to pick his opponent and trying to figure out. Initially, he was supposed to fight that one MMA guy who's 0-1 or 0-0. I don't know. And we pleaded on this podcast, please don't go with an MMA fighter. Please, you want to be a boxer, fight a fucking boxer.
Yep. He's fighting a boxer.
And he's fighting a boxer. So we've got Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. That is official.
December 18th.
December 18th, live from Tampa, Florida.
Where everyone can join.
Please comment below on the YouTube channel or on the Instagram channel what your thoughts are on that fight. Somebody's L has got to go, bro. Somebody's L has to go.
Has to be Jake.
Tommy is 7-0, and I think Jake is 4-0. I'm pretty sure this would be
4.
Yeah, so this will be Jake Paul's fifth fight.
Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, Tyron Woodley, and he fought someone else, didn't he? Or is that 3?
I'm not
I
sure.
think he's 4.
I think he's 4-0. I'm pretty sure he's 4-0 going on his fifth fight when he fights Tommy Fury. Now, this fight, there's only a few rules that have come out, a few details that have come out about this fight. This fight will be contested at 192 pounds.
It's big guys.
Big boys. And it is, like I said on Wednesday, I really wish they would do 10 rounds. They're not doing 10 rounds. It is contracted for 8 3-minute rounds.
That's long.
So, I don't know.
That is long.
Yeah, but that's exhibition status, isn't it? So this could be an exhibition fight?
I believe so, yeah. But still.
But this has to be a legit fight. This can't be, you know, those protective headgear. No, they need to throw balls to the wall.
It's not going to be headgear. There's no way.
No, it's too much of a potential, you know, to make Tommy Fury who he's supposed to be. Now, this is contracted that if Tommy Fury loses, he has to change his name to Tommy Fumbles for 1 year. This is true.
And also, too, the Fury camp says he cannot box no more.
That would be crazy. I did not hear that.
Yeah, boxing.
But
the Fury
Tommy Fury chose this. So Tommy Fury had a choice. Jake Paul said, okay, I'll put up $500,000 of my purse if Tommy Fury wins. Tommy Fury came back and said he had the option to also put up $500,000 of his purse if Jake Paul wins. No, Tommy Fury chose to go with changing his last name for 1 official year.
Yeah.
So that says a lot. Jake Paul came out and said that's a bunch of bullshit that you would pick money over your family's name. And he should be disowned, like you said.
Well, it's not even just like they'll disown him. They just said he cannot box no more.
No. Tyson Fury came out and said, I will disown you. The Fury family will disown you if you lose this fight.
Yeah, the Fury family will disown him. But they also said he cannot box no more in our camp or our gym, nothing. He just needs to give up boxing if he loses to a YouTuber. Which is wild.
Crazy. I'm so pumped, man. These fights are back to back. They are coming up so fast. Next week we have UFC 268 Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman rematch. We have Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang.
Right.
That's another rematch. And then December is looking fantastic. Christmas can't come soon enough, man. We've got
Crazy.
December 11th. We've got UFC 269, Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira. And then we have the very next week, we've got this Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury fight.
Yep. It's going to be crazy.
Within 2 weeks before Christmas, we are going to have 2 major fights to talk about. Do not forget to follow Combat Misfits on YouTube, Instagram, and all our social media pages because things are getting fired up. We are pumped. I am so pumped. I'm so glad that we have all this content to talk about and all these potential title fights and then new champions because of Glover Teixeira. You know, I love to see Combat Misfits embracing all this content, you know? And you know, UFC is stacked coming up.
Yeah.
It is stacked.
They're trying to go out with the year with a bang and start a new year. That's what I think because these cards are just way too stacked.
It was super
crazy.
It was super smart of them to put the UFC 267 on ESPN Plus for free, because with having Madison Square Garden next week,
Yeah.
that brings the fans to be like, oh, there's 2 title fights next week too. I'm going to buy into this product.
Right.
And these fights, I am willing to vouch these fights are worth it. Yes, the pay-per-views are $70, but I think UFC 268, I think if you are a hardcore fan and even a casual fan, put up that money, you will get the entertainment you expect. I think these fights will be fire. I really do. I have so much to look forward to, and I know, Chris, you have so much to look forward to as well. Yep. I can't wait to talk about these fights. We will be back in the studio on Wednesday, 6 p.m., live from Last Out Media Studios, and we will talk about and break down our predictions for UFC 268.
Yep.
You got any ending comments you want to bring to this?
No, man. I appreciate everyone showing up, and thanks for all the love and support you guys give us throughout the weeks that we do.
So I want to give a shout out to all my Devereaux Sports family. They are phenomenal people, and I got mad love for them. You just saw Gobbler Inc. live in the studio 1 hour ago. They were reacting to the Sixers, the Flyers. They were breaking down the East Coast Philadelphia teams because we are East Coast over here. And then we also have them commenting on the Eagles versus Lions game. So please go back and watch that video. They give their predictions. John Lieb gives his mush predictions. And, that podcast is amazing. And then tomorrow, live from Last Out Media Studios, we've got the Sullivan Squad. They will be reacting to the Eagles versus Lions game, as well as hopefully it's a loss so that we get a better draft pick. That's just my opinion. And we get some better movement for the Philadelphia Eagles. And then, so tune in to them tomorrow night at 6 p.m. And they'll be live from Last Out Media Studios. Then we're back in the studio Wednesday, 6 p.m.
Yeah, we got Old School Squad
on
don't forget, Tuesday.
Do not forget about the Old School.
Also, Thursday is our wrestling shows. So you guys can tune in that. And on Fridays also, we have them too.
So yes, don't forget Thursday, 9:05, Breakfast and Body Slams with Chio Frost. I'll call him by his wrestling name. And Dennis Brandu. Please tune into that podcast. We are Devereaux Sports, and we're out. Have a good day, guys.